Hello, beautiful, gorgeous people. My name is Mia, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I will be reading Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, and I'm actually really excited about this book because I just read the Hunger Games books recently. By the way, I actually vlogged me reading the series for the very first time, but then some of the footage got deleted and messed up. So I decided to scratch that idea, and I was like, you know what, we'll just do a video with just me reading one of the books. Just a few thoughts on the Hunger Games series in its entirety, because I did read the books and watch the movies. I will say, the first book for me in the Hunger Games trilogy, I didn't hate it, and I didn't not like it, but I just felt like it was okay. I really didn't understand the hype until I got to the second and third book, Catching Fire and Mockingjay. I really loved those books. There was so much going on in those books, I could not put it down. But then I got to the prequel, the Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes, and personally, I didn't like the book. For me, I felt like the first half of the book was really interesting, and then after the games were over, I was kind of disinterested in the rest of the story. And also, I already don't like President Snow, and I just didn't really care, especially after the games were over. I really didn't care about his storyline because at the end of the day, he's still a terrible person, or a terrible character, I should say. However, I have been seeing people read Sunrise on the Reaping and saying that they were weeping. Saw what I did there? Did a little rhyme. And knowing what we already know about Haymitch, I know definitely a lot of stuff is going to go on in this book. So I'm really excited to read it. I'm also a little scared because I'm seeing people cry and shed tears and weep, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not ready for the pain, but I am ready to read the books. I'm hoping that I will finish the book by tomorrow so that way I can edit this video and post it by Saturday morning, but we shall see. We're going to read this book for the next 2 or 3 days, and I'll probably check back in with you guys once I start reading the book. I'm worried for Amber right now. Just a little. Nothing crazy's happened, but just the plans and everything. I'm scared. Good morning, everyone. It is the next day, and I wanted to give an update on Sunrise on the Reaping. Okay, so yesterday I got to about 43% of the way into the book. A lot has happened. If you don't know what this book is about, we're following Haymitch's story and how he got into the Hunger Games. That's all I'm gonna say what the book is about, because I don't want to spoil it for everybody. Usually when I get spoiled about something, I'm like, oh frick. You know what I mean? Woo, hot. But I am enjoying the book. I love that we got to see some characters that we meet in the other books. What I also loved about this book too is that we get to see how the games are kind of managed, run in the arena from like the game maker's point of view. One of the characters goes to Haymitch and like kind of explains like how like all of these games are working like while everyone's playing. I really like that aspect because you don't get that in the other books. You do, if you watch the movies though, you do get to see how like they move around the game pieces and whatever. We don't get really much about it in the other 3 books. So I liked that we got a little bit more about that in this book. Haymitch is such an interesting character, and I've always said that to people because in the first 3 books, he's in there, but you don't get a lot of information about him except he was a tribute in the games, he won the games, he has a drinking problem, you know, all of these other things, but we don't really get to know Haymitch before he became the way that he is later on in the books. So just to get to see him before all of the stuff went down is incredible. There is a love interest in the book. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm a little scared for her life. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm liking the writing. It moves very fast. And because I'm already interested in Haymitch as a character, this book I'm loving. This actually, compared to Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which I personally did not love, I love this a lot more. But I think the difference between the Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes and the Sunrise on the Reaping is that I'm just more interested in Haymitch. I'm just more interested in him. Oh my god, this coffee's so good. I think I might sit outside today to do some reading. It looks like it's kind of nice, but I'm also pretty cold right now, so I don't know. It might be nicer outside than in here because long story short, our heater is broken and so it's a little cold inside the house. It's getting a little gloomy, so that makes me a little nervous, but at least I'm like right by my house if I need to like evacuate immediately. I'm also reading some other books that I'm in the middle of reading, so I might attend to those as well. I'm hoping to finish it honestly because I have to get this video up tomorrow and I still have to edit it. Anyway, let's get back into reading. I'm super excited but also really nervous what's going to happen to some of these characters, and I will check back in with you guys when I get a little further in. in the book. That's page 257. Oh my gosh, I feel so hard for Haymitch because throughout the book he's constantly like trying to help and protect people, and it never works out in his favor, and it's just so frustrating. Lulu, gosh, that poor girl. I'm scared for Haymitch. I really am. I don't know what's gonna happen next. I don't have that much left, but man, a lot of stuff happened. I was panicking that whole like last chapter, panicking. Tension was high. He had to do some stuff, and it was stressful. I think I'm gonna continue reading, see how far I get tonight. I kind of want to finish it tonight, and it is only 10:31 and I am 65% of the way through, so I think I can finish this tonight. But I am enjoying this book, okay? This book is a good time. I mean, it's not a good time. Like, I feel like I'm gonna be heartbroken in the next couple of pages. If you haven't read the Hunger Games books, definitely pick them up. Friends, it is the next day and I just wanted to come on here and wrap up this video and give my final thoughts on Sunrise on the Reaping. So I gave this book 5 stars. I just love Haymitch as a character and his complexities and learning about all the things that he had to deal with during the games, before the games, even after the games, which is crazy. I do have a few notes that I want to talk about. As I was reading, I was trying to take a few notes so that way I didn't forget anything when I came on here and after this video. So I'm just going to go through a few of them that I wrote down. I found that there were so many parallels with Haymitch's book and the 3 Hunger Games book. Like, there was a lot of similarities in the way that like Katniss and Peeta like did things during their Hunger Games very similarly to Haymitch. And I thought that was very interesting. He quotes a lot of things that involve booze, even though he wasn't really an alcoholic at that point in his life. I loved how in this book we got to see a lot of the characters that we met in the previous books. I love when we get to spend a little bit more time with characters, especially characters that we really like, and the characters that were mentioned in this book I actually really loved in the other ones, so I was really happy that we got to see them again. I'll just say the ending of this book is just really sad and it's really unfortunate, and I just want to say Haymitch as a character is such a protector. Just the way he handled the games and helped people along the way, but every time he tried to help, it just kind of backfired on him and he has no control over it. I think I mentioned this earlier, but I did like the fact that we got a little bit of an inside scoop on how the games are run and how all of the game makers, you know, strategically put things in different places. You don't get that in the other 3 books. You don't really get to see the back end of how the games are created. There were just so many connections that we were making throughout the book that I really appreciated. And then this book just affirms that I just don't like President Snow. He was worse in this book. In fact, he's scarier in this book. Definitely, if you are a Game of Thrones, what are we talking about? If you are like a Hunger Games fan or you really like Haymitch, like this is an excellent book to pick up. The writing was great. The pacing was great. This was much better than Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes, in my humble opinion. I know a few people like Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes, but I personally, it wasn't my favorite in the series so far. I don't know if there's going to be any more books after this. I could see trying to think of like a character in the book that would be like interesting. You know what I would find interesting to read next in this series is to learn more about like the Covey. Like there's not a lot of information about this group of people. You know that they're musicians and they're travelers, but like what is their thing? Like I feel like there's something there. It's like talked about a little bit in the books, but it's not like really explained. We don't get to see how they like live or anything. So like I'm very curious on that. I don't know Suzanne Collins. I don't have her phone number. I don't know if she's gonna be like doing anything else with this series, but I would really love to see that maybe in the near future. I also heard somewhere that they're going to be doing a movie for Sunrise on the Reaping, and I'm actually very excited about it. I feel like I know who I would want to play Haymitch, and it's this person from House of Dragon. I think he would be a great Haymitch. Just saying. I've seen a lot of people say this person as well, but I humbly agree. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, definitely click the like button down below, and if you're not already, definitely subscribe and click the notification bell so you can get notified when I post. Anyway, keep on reading, y'all.